Although reducing jams is possible with measures like regular maintenance, proper shooting techniques, and use of high-quality ammunition in good condition, the occurrence of jams remains an irksome but inevitable aspect of shooting. The possibility of jams and their potential to cause harm necessitate the knowledge of safe procedures to unjam a firearm. It is absolutely essential for gun owners to be proficient in unjamming techniques. In this guide, we will provide comprehensive information about jams. Starting with the reasons behind gun jams, we will then discuss the step-by-step process of safely unjamming each of the most common types of jams. What causes a jam in guns? There are several factors that can cause a firearm to jam, with the most common being faulty ammunition, mechanical issues with the firearm, or poor shooting techniques. However, even with excellent usage, meticulous maintenance, and optimal ammo conditions, jams can still occur. The most prevalent types of gun jams are misfire, hang fire, failure to eject, and failure to feed jams. Each of these jams occurs for different reasons. Misfire jams, which are also known as failure to fire jams, arise when the ammo primer fails to ignite the propellant or when the firing pin or striker fails to detonate the primer, often as a result of a light primer strike or a defective primer. When a misfire jam happens, the shooter will hear a distinct clicking sound, but no shot will be fired. A hangfire is a similar problem to a misfire, but with a different cause. In fact, when the shooter initially pulls the trigger, a hangfire and a misfire appear the same. However, with a hangfire, the round will fire after a delay. So in the event of an apparent misfire or hangfire, it is critical to keep the gun pointed down range until the jam is cleared. Generally, hangfire jams occur due to a faulty primer, but they can also result from an issue with the firing pin or spring. Failure to eject jams occur when the spent casing does not clear the chamber after firing. These types of jams usually occur as a result of weak grips by the shooter when firing. Finally, a failure to feed occurs when a round cannot feed into the chamber in the first place. This type of jam can occur due to a weak grip, but it can also happen if the magazine is not properly seated or has a mechanical issue. Another type of jam that can occur, albeit far less common than the previous four, is called a squib. Squibs occur when the round does not produce sufficient energy to propel the bullet fully out of the gun, leaving the bullet stuck somewhere in the barrel. This is incredibly dangerous as the bullet will obstruct follow-up shots and gases, and can potentially cause significant damage to both the firearm and the shooter. Squibs can occur with any ammunition and firearm. However, fortunately, they are exceptionally rare with factory ammunition and modern firearms. How to unjam a gun. Understanding how to properly handle and clear gun jams is essential knowledge for any gun owner. Let's delve deeper into how to safely and effectively handle the most common types of jams. Misfire jams. Misfire jams can be tricky to identify, as they can easily be mistaken for hangfires. In the event of an apparent misfire, it's important to keep the firearm firmly pointed in a safe direction for several minutes in case it is actually a hangfire. Once you've confirmed that it is not a hangfire, the next step is to remove the round from the firearm. It's important to inspect the round closely, paying particular attention to the primer. If there is a visible indent in the center of the primer, you can safely dispose of the round as it was likely the source of the misfire. However, if the primer does not have an indent or has an off-center indent, the issue is likely a mechanical problem with the firearm that needs to be addressed by a professional gunsmith. It's important to note that attempting to fire a misfired round again can be extremely dangerous, as it can result in a squib or other serious firearm malfunction. Always err on the side of caution and properly clear any jams before continuing to shoot. Hangfire jams. Hangfire jams can be particularly dangerous, as it can be difficult to immediately determine whether it is a hangfire or a misfire. It is crucial to keep the firearm pointed in a safe direction and hold for several minutes to ensure that the round does not eventually fire. Once you have confirmed that it is a hangfire, the next step is to remove the magazine and clear the chamber. Remember to keep the firearm pointed downrange until you have confirmed that the firearm is completely empty. After clearing the firearm, you can now inspect the ammunition or cartridge and the firearm itself as you would with a misfire jam. Pay close attention to the primer and ensure that there are no visible signs of damage or defects. If the round ended up firing, carefully inspect the firearm to ensure that there are no obstructions or damage that could cause further jams or malfunctions. It is important to always exercise caution and follow proper protocol when clearing jams, particularly with hang-fire jams where there is potential for delayed firing. By following these steps and inspecting your firearm and ammunition regularly, you can reduce the risk of jams and maintain a safe and enjoyable shooting experience. Failure to eject jams. In the case of a failure to eject jam, also known as a stovepipe, the first step is to tilt the firearm 90 degrees to the side to use gravity to your advantage. After that, you should utilize the tap rack bang method to clear the jam. This involves tapping the bottom of the magazine to ensure it is properly seated, then racking the slide and firing again. If the round still won't feed, inspect your firearm for any mechanical problems. However, if the round is partially sticking out of the chamber, it's important to not use the tap rack bang method. Instead, tilt the gun on its side and use a sweeping motion to clear the round from the chamber. This will prevent the round from being further lodged in the chamber and causing additional jams. Failure to feed jams. Failure to feed jams can be resolved by performing a series of troubleshooting steps. Firstly, ensure that the magazine is properly seated. You can tap the magazine to ensure it's firmly in place or completely remove and reseat the magazine. If that doesn't resolve the problem, try lubricating the chamber and magazine feed lips to facilitate smoother feeding. If the issue persists, check the magazine spring and follower for any deformities or damages. You can also test with another magazine using the same ammunition. If the problem persists and it's not a magazine issue, it's recommended to try swapping to a different ammunition brand, as some firearms may be more finicky than others about cycling certain types of ammo. Squibs. When dealing with squib jams, safety is of utmost importance to prevent dangerous follow-up shots. It is crucial to maintain vigilance while shooting and ensure there is an impact for every pull of the trigger. If a shot sounds odd, unusually quiet, or you experience lighter than normal recoil, cease firing immediately and unload your firearm. Once you have unloaded your gun, disassemble it and inspect the barrel for a lodged bullet. If you locate a bullet, you will need a wooden or cleaning rod with a diameter close to that of your gun's bore. Insert the rod into the barrel from the end farthest from the lodged bullet and gently tap it to force the bullet out of the other end. It is recommended to use a cleaning solvent during this process. Summary. We learned how to identify and rectify common gun jams, including misfire jams, hang-fire jams, failure to eject jams, failure to feed jams, and squibs. For each type of jam, the video provided detailed steps for troubleshooting and fixing the issue. What kinds of jam situations do you encounter the most? Feel free to leave a comment below, and if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more expert tips and tutorials on gun safety and maintenance. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.